Hi folks, this is the Pota cable from Messi and Paoloni, and it would appear that people are getting a little into a little bit of trouble when they come to put in plugs on the per meter stuff. What you need is the Ultraflex 7 type SO239 or N type if you like. You need to put the ferrule on first, then you need the thrust washer, which is down there. Then you need the rubber seal. Just push that on. And what I tend to do is at this point, just using a standard old knife, I would take about 10mm, give or take, and just all I'm doing is, if you would like an apple, I'm not actually, can't really see what I'm doing there, but so, and then all I'm going to do then is just cut that along and just give it a little lever, and then you should be able to just peel that away like so, and that will leave you a little bushy end like that. Now I think the bit that people are having trouble with is when it comes to putting this ferrule on. So what you're going to do is you're going to peel this braid back, leaving the copper on the inside there. I'm trying to turn this around and tell you what, let's take those off. I don't need them because I've only got a short bit, but you can roll it down a bit further. So we've got that like so, but where the problem starts is when this goes on. I'm trying to do this and looking through the camera, and then going to push this into the end. It's quite tough. Now the way that Messi and Paoloni do it is quite unusual. Take your knife and for about say 6-8mm, just put a little nick in there like so, and then when you come to push this up and then put this piece on, if it buckles up like that, then what you can do, I'm trying to do this looking through my mobile phone like that. What you can do is, if you've got a long socket or something like that, you can just use that to push it down home, so you end up with that. And then all I tend to do is just swirl it round, kind of adds to the contact in the plug itself, because there's very little contact in these plugs. So like so. Once you've done that, then take your knife and then put that around the inside there. So we put that around like so, and then just give it a little lever and just pull that up. That, give it a twist as it comes off. You end up with that, and then all I tend to do is give that a little pull off with the end of the knife. Now this is another part that seems to trip people up, is when you put that on the end of this cable, if you use a standard pair of wire cutters, it puts like a little flat on the end and you can't actually get this because it's quite tight. So what you want is a pair of wire cutters with a rounded end, so that when you actually go to cut this, it kind of cuts off with a really neat sort of end. And we sell these in the shop, so ask the sales guys, they'll sort something out. And then all you need to do is, I'll get my thumbs out of the way and just put that on the top, and that's that bit. Another thing that seems to catch people out, sometimes these plugs come with this white bit which is fixed in the end here, and the brass contact will come out the middle, but it leaves the white bit in there, and people seem to think that it needs to come out. It doesn't need to come out at all. What you don't want to do is solder this brass center pin with this on, because what happens is this gets really hot, this expands and won't go into the plug case. So what you need to do is, if it comes out as one hole, just separate it so you've got the inner and the little insulator. Solder this on and then let it cool a little, and then put this on and then into the case. And then what we're going to do is, and we'll put that on like so. Make sure I've got it. And all you're looking to do is you would trim this so that that wire just goes up to, just touch to the top of the hole once you look through the hole. So that goes on like so, and you can see the inner wire there. Then all you do is you take your soldering iron and you solder on this little hole here. So just fill that hole and then soak it through from the other side. And then all you would do then is you put your white shoulder on, take your case, just push the two together like so till it's gone home. Then of course I've taken it off because of it was in the way, and then all you would then do is take those two together and just nip them up until the rubber ring just starts to squash. You don't need to go mad. If you go over the top, it all splays out the side. But that is pretty much it. That is how you put your Pota cable on. And of course, check it with your multimeter. Thanks for watching.